Every evening as the sun sets, you return home with a fatigue that seems to weigh on your mind. The hours stretch out before you like a silent battlefield, where the most formidable adversary is none other than yourself. In this moment, distractions, comfort, and procrastination await you, lurking in the shadows, ready to steal your inner strength. Miyamoto Musashi said, "Truth is not found in reading, but in doing." So, are you ready to strike with the precision of a sword into the emptiness of your daily life? Every choice, every gesture can transform your life. Today, you will learn 5 Japanese habits to reclaim your evenings, sharpen your mind, and tame your time. The world around you is a living, shifting, and unpredictable battlefield. Every morning, when you cross the threshold of your personal space, you won't simply be entering your home, office, or workshop. You'll be stepping into an arena where the invisible forces of distraction, noise, and confusion seek to weaken you. Imagine these incessant notifications as endlessly launched arrows, each carrying the potential to divert your attention, fragment your mind, and steal clarity of thought. Every prompt, a message, an email, a non-urgent call, acts like a subtle ambush. Every unfinished task becomes a weight that erodes your willpower, a silent weapon that insinuates itself into your concentration, ready to make you waver when you think you're making progress. In this chaos, it's easy to get lost, to fall into inaction or the illusion of productivity. Yet it's precisely in these moments that the true warrior distinguishes himself from the spectator, the one who masters his terrain before the battle even begins. Sun Tzu, master of strategy, taught us, "The supreme excellence is to break the enemy's resistance without fighting." This principle is not only military, it is profoundly applicable to your daily life. The first act of victory is to observe your terrain before unsheathing the sword of action. Begin with recognition. What elements in your environment are stealing your energy? What objects, habits, or people are acting as enemies disguised as allies? TV, phones, social media, cluttered spaces, all are forces that fragment your mind. A warrior doesn't go into battle blindly. He analyzes, identifies enemy positions, and carefully chooses his moves. It's not about multiplying blows, but about striking with precision. To tame this external chaos, we must create an inviolable sanctuary, a space where concentration is sacred. Start by isolating your physical environment. Get rid of everything superfluous. Every useless object is a latent distraction, a double-edged sword that can draw you into secondary battles. Organize your tools, pens, notebooks, computers, software, everything must be in its place, ready to be used without hesitation. The clarity of the physical terrain prepares for mental clarity. A clean desk, a tidy room, a demarcated space are all invisible walls that protect you from external attacks. But the strategy doesn't stop at physical space. Your mind is itself a battlefield. Stray thoughts, worries, incomplete ideas, and intrusive memories are subtle adversaries, even more formidable than tangible distractions. The warrior doesn't fight every thought with force. He chooses with discernment those which deserve his attention. Every minute you spend giving in to a distraction is a minute wasted. Every unnecessary gesture is wasted energy. That is why the art of modern warfare demands the mental discipline, the ability to push away the superfluous, to turn off the noise, to lock one's attention on the objective. To advance like a samurai is to understand that every movement must be precise and calculated. Imagine yourself marching across a silent battlefield, your senses alert, each step measured, each gesture carrying intention. You don't rush, you don't act on impulse. Your actions are like saber strokes, precise, efficient, decisive. Organization becomes your shield, focus your sword, and time, which many consider an enemy, becomes your strategic ally. Even the smallest gesture, performed with attention, is a victory. Tidying up a desk, closing an unnecessary application, writing a precise list. These actions seem insignificant, but together, they give you mastery of your battlefield. External chaos is never completely eliminated. It moves, transforms, always looking for a breach. But the warrior does not wait for chaos to decide his movements. He prepares its ground, creates invisible rules that govern order in its space, and acts with implacable precision. Every night, every morning, this preparation is repeated, like the blacksmith sharpening his blade before taking it to battle. Distractions may arise, but they will not touch you if you have learned to move forward with discipline and strategy. Every blow you strike at the useless is an assertion of your control. Every minute well spent is a step toward mastery of your environment. Observe your space, identify hidden enemies, isolate your sanctuary, and move like a master warrior through your daily life. Notifications stop being poisoned arrows when you choose your moment to act. Unfinished tasks become precise objectives when you plan your moves carefully. External chaos then becomes a silent partner. It tests your vigilance, sharpens your focus, and forces you to perfect your strategy. As the samurai proverb says, the man who knows how to wait and strike with precision never needs to chase his enemies. Every move you make, every minute you decide to protect your attention, is a step toward total mastery of your external world. The battlefield is vast, but you are ready. You have chosen your terrain, organized your tools, closed the doors to distractions, and sharpened your mind. The chaos has not disappeared, but you have learned to tame it. War is no longer endured, it is directed. And this first step, this control of the external battlefield, prepares the rest of your life to become an art of mastery and precision. The real battlefield is not outside. The most formidable enemies are not the incessant notifications, nor material obstacles, nor external circumstances. They reside in the recesses of your own mind, in those shadowy areas where fear, doubt, and uncertainty intertwine to create a silent but devastating storm. Yamamoto Tsunetomo taught, "The man who controls his mind never allows himself to be carried away by the storm of passions." It is here, in this invisible sanctuary, that the real war is fought. Every uncontrolled thought, every unobserved emotion, every impulse left free to grow, is a battle you lose before it even begins. When you sit down after a busy day, take a moment to breathe, deeply, slowly, and feel the weight of fatigue trying to overwhelm you. You are tired, yes, but fatigue is not your enemy. It is a signal, a reminder of your limits, an invitation to observe, to slow down, to enter the intimacy of your mind. Don't rush into action to escape this fatigue. Welcome it, and observe it like a samurai surveys the terrain before striking. Thoughts arise, like leaves in the wind, some light and innocuous, others dark and insistent. The key is to learn to look at them without becoming attached, to discern which ones deserve your energy and which ones only take you further from your center. Silent meditation then becomes a subtle but powerful weapon. Even 5 minutes is enough to create a space of clarity in the mental turmoil. Sit quietly, close your eyes and focus on your breath. Each inhalation connects you to life, each exhalation detaches you from illusions. You will notice that certain thoughts persist, that certain doubts insist, but you are no longer their slave. You are an observer. Mastery of the mind begins with this distance, this ability to look without being carried away, to welcome without being overwhelmed. Ask yourself this question, and let it echo in the silence. Are you the master of your mind, or are you a slave to your impulses? Every moment you give in to anger, to fear, to envy, is a moment you relinquish control of yourself to an invisible but powerful enemy. Uncontrolled passions pile up, creating an inner turmoil that clouds perception and erodes will. The true warrior does not deny his emotions, he does not repress them. He observes them, he understands them, he transforms them into strength. Recognizing your fears is a first act of courage. The fear of failure, of criticism, of the unknown, all these mental shadows seek to paralyze you. But each identified fear loses its power. Write them down, name them, face them. Every uncontrolled desire, every compulsive need also becomes an adversary to be understood, observed, and wisely integrated. Self-knowledge is a strategy. It allows you to choose your battles, to focus your energy where it will have a real impact, rather than dispersing it in useless struggles. Remember that this inner battle is more crucial than any outer struggle. Your body may be weakened, your environment may be hostile, but if your mind is strong, nothing can overwhelm you. History's greatest masters, from the samurai to the Stoic philosophers, have insisted on this truth. Inner peace and self-control are the foundations upon which all victories are built. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Apply this to your mind. It is not because thoughts are tumultuous that you should run away from them. It is because you do not dare to face them that their power seems insurmountable. Every evening, take the time to observe yourself. Note recurring thoughts, judgments, regrets, future projections. Analyze your inner dialogue. Some voices are wise and constructive, others are critical, destructive. Learn to distinguish truth from illusion. Mental mastery is not an absence of thoughts, but a conscious direction of mental energy. As an archer aims his arrow with precision, you adjust your attention to what is useful and nourishing. The process is gradual and ongoing. You don't tame your mind in a day or a week. It's a constant training, a vigilant attention that strengthens with each passing moment. The habits you cultivate, meditation, writing, silent reflection, become the weapons that arm you against inner confusion. The calm you cultivate in these fragile moments becomes invisible armor against the emotional storms and distractions of daily life. Ultimately, the beauty of this inner battle lies in its infinite depth. You never stop learning about yourself. Every fear, every desire, every thought you observe is a window into yourself, a map of the inner territory few dare to explore. By taming your mind, you not only gain clarity and peace, you develop a silent strength, a quiet but invincible presence that influences all your outward actions. The inner war is never over, but it builds character, sharpens perception, and teaches you patience, wisdom, and courage. Life, when we observe it clearly, is nothing more than a succession of decisions. Some are insignificant, like choosing what to eat or what clothes to wear, but others are crucial, silent, and have the power to transform the trajectory of your existence. Seneca reminds us, luck favors only the prepared mind. This preparation is not accidental. It is the result of a method, a discipline, a meticulous attention paid to every detail. Imagine your evening as a military campaign. You would never launch into battle without reconnaissance, without maps, and without a strategy. Why act differently toward your life, toward your time, and toward your mind? Start with identify essential tasks. Just as a general prioritizes his goals, distinguish between what truly nourishes your mind and body and what merely consumes your energy with no real return. Reading, writing, personal reflection, physical exercise, developing specific skills, or even carefully preparing a meal can become highly strategic actions. Just as a general allocates his troops precisely, allocate your time so that every minute counts, so that every action has a concrete impact. Ask yourself this question: what actions, performed tonight, will make tomorrow one step closer to mastering yourself and your life? The planning then becomes a tool of power. Create a precise plan for your evening. 1 hour devoted to reading, 30 minutes to writing, 20 minutes to exercise or practicing an art, and periods dedicated to active rest to maintain mental clarity. This plan should not be rigid like a cage, but structured like a battlefield where each unit has its mission and each movement has its reason. Margins exist, but they are used to adapt your strategy, not to abandon the objective. Once the plan is established, it becomes a silent contract with yourself. Failure to respect this contract weakens the spirit. Fulfilling it strengthens it. Each evening, this contract reminds you that you are the architect of your destiny, that your choices build the fortress of your mind. Act with discipline and regularity is the key to transforming strategy into tangible strength. The plan is just a map, a vision, until it is consistently executed. The warrior doesn't simply dream of victories. He forges them through repetition and consistency. Every small victory, completing a task, writing a page, reading a chapter, meditating thoughtfully, is a building block in the edifice of your inner power. Consistency transforms action into habit, habit into skill, and skill into mastery. Imagine an archer who shoots accurately every day. It is not chance that transforms his arrow into a deadly bolt, but methodical repetition and attention to every movement. Mental strategy also requires prioritization of efforts, just as a general concentrates his forces on the enemy's weak point. Focus your energy on the tasks that have the greatest impact. Superficial activities, seductive distractions, tasks without real value are enemy forces that must be repelled or eliminated. Every hour spent in inaction or futility is a victory given to the invisible adversary who seeks to keep you stagnant. Ask yourself this question: what would you do if your honor depended on a single choice tonight? Every decision then becomes a strategic move, every action a movement that defines your future. The flexibility and adaptation are also essential components of strategy. Even the best-laid plan can be confronted with the unexpected, an emergency, a distraction, an unforeseen event. The modern warrior doesn't panic. He adjusts his tactics, reorganizes his forces, and continues to advance. The prepared mind doesn't collapse under the pressure of the unexpected. It uses it to sharpen its perception, test its vigilance, and strengthen its resilience. True power lies not just in planning, but in the ability to execute that plan with discernment, even when the terrain shifts beneath your feet. Every night, this strategic practice transforms the simple routine into a mastery. Ritual planning and disciplined action become an art. Precise movement, informed choice, a clear intention behind every move. Like a chess master who anticipates 5 moves in advance, you observe your actions, evaluate their consequences, and choose the best course. Life ceases to be a chaotic flow of events and becomes a harmonious sequence where every decision serves your greater purpose: to become master of yourself and your environment. In this process, mental strategy is not cold or mechanical. It is alive, intuitive, and deeply personal. It combines rational analysis and intuition, anticipation and adaptation, discipline and flexibility. Each carefully planned and executed decision strengthens your inner power, sharpens your mind, and strengthens your resilience. You become a general in your own life, able to direct your thoughts, actions, and time with the precision of a saber. Finally, mental strategy transforms your perception of time. Hours are no longer fluid and wasted entities. They become precious resources to be used with intention. Every movement, every minute, is invested with a keen awareness of its impact. Your evening's plan becomes the stage where your personal mastery is played out, and every action performed with discipline and precision brings you one step closer to becoming the strongest version of yourself. Time, which once seemed like an adversary, now becomes an ally, because you have learned to master it with strategy and discernment. Every master, every samurai, every philosopher will teach you the same truth: mastery comes through repetition. Confucius said, "Discipline is the bridge between goals and their accomplishment." To change your evenings, you must transform your habits into rituals. Get up a little earlier, go to bed with intention, repeat your useful actions without faltering. Write down each night what you have accomplished and what you want to perfect tomorrow. Repetition forges the steel of your mind and the precision of your gestures. Ask yourself, are you ready to die to defend what you believe in, even if it is only a battle against yourself? Beyond combat and discipline, there is the way. Bushido is not just a code of war, it is an art of living. Put an end to the tension of the day, honor your body and your mind. The practice of tea, contemplative reading, silent walking are all subtle weapons to harmonize your being. The energy you release becomes a creative force, and each evening becomes a sacred act, a ritual of rebirth. Ask yourself this question: how do you want to be remembered for your past hours, as master of yourself or as a slave to the useless? When discipline meets contemplation, time ceases to be an adversary and becomes your ally. The samurai never wasted a moment. Every second is a blade ready to strike the future. Apply these 5 Japanese habits, and transform your evenings into training grounds for your mind. Tame your chaos, master your mind, plan your actions, rehearse with discipline, and honor your being. Every choice is a sword stroke, every victory is a reflection of your honor. Now, the final question: are you ready to live each evening like a true warrior of your time?